It's my pleasure to have with us today Toby Lewis, who is a very fantastic human being. But before I start getting into showering the people with compliments and stuff, please, Toby, tell us who you are and how do you introduce yourself these days?
Amazing, Jason. Well, I am Toby Lewis, CEO and founder of Novum Insights. We're a research firm of blockchain and frontier technology, very focused on the decentralized finance space. So we built a tool now called the Momentum Pairs product. It looks at the cryptos that are trending best over the last week, 30 days and 90 days. So really helps you find the high performing tools that are out there in the crypto space. And we're a very sort of data science focused firm. So we've looked at 30,000 pairs across Uniswap, which is probably the best known decentralized exchange in crypto. And we think we're making quite a bit of noise in that space. We built a cool product. I've turned to Jason many times over the years for his advice on UX, and he's also a fantastic human being. So excited to be here with you both, basically.
Awesome. Look, before we get into like further aspects of, people, systems, and so on, just a quick question around what is the purpose both of Novum Insights and the Momentum Pairs, kind of in that order?
Yeah. So Novum Insights I set up about 4.5 years ago, and basically we're a data-driven research organization. So always using data to study all areas of frontier technology. So I've been an analyst in the frontier tech space for about 11 years. Built a business as a co-founder looking at the corporate venturing space, which is quite an intriguing niche. And having set that up and sort of really wanting to go really deep on the data science side, when I was founding my new business, Novum Insights, like 4.5 years ago, I really wanted to double down on a particular area of technology, and sort of went through my contact base and was like, what would be really interesting people? And basically, a lot of people came back and went, I track blockchain because like there's just so much interesting stuff that was emerging in that space, and no one really understood at all what was happening. And it rapidly we got into the space, and we rapidly realized the reason why no one understood what was happening was because a lot of the stuff wasn't working or wasn't doing very much. But there was still a lot of potential there in sort of people tracking data on a blockchain, and I think all of the potential of the space has begun to explode over the last year. So I feel very lucky to have sort of kept digging into this area that I think has transformed more people's lives over the last decade than much I can think of, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, awesome.
So, Toby, I mean, I like what you said about blockchain taking off, right? I mean, it's been a couple of years now, let's say 2014, 2015, that it kind of came to market. And, recently we've seen a number of companies, making big moves in terms of capital allocation to Bitcoin, others, some production ventures with the technology. But if you had to talk about the people that you're serving with Novum, who would those people be? And, what's kind of the main thing they're looking to get out of when they are going onto the platform?
Yeah, so Novum's designed for anyone who's keen to largely be trading in the DeFi space, but anyone really who wants to understand it a bit more. So we're very focused on the analytics and the numbers. So we can show you how different groups are performing and it's designed to be a really like, there's a free tool, our DeFi calculator, that looks at 30,000 pairs on Uniswap, and then we built a subscription service as well, where people can kind of log in and for a tiny fee, basically find investments that are going up 50% in a week. And I think the way we're laying it out and providing that for people find it's quite a safe space for finding deals that might go up significantly over the next month to 3 months to whenever, as well as we run workshops and training and that kind of thing. So we've had customers, typically sort of, I guess, they're intelligent people who are looking to either trade in the crypto space for the first time, or they can be quite veteran as well, because the analytics are extremely useful, I would say, for anyone who's got a level of sophistication. But it's very much pitched that you can try out the tool for a week for £1. Then if you like it, you can subscribe for a year for 300. If you're putting any sort of meaningful money into the crypto space over time, like from basically, I'd say if you're looking to invest 3,000 upwards in crypto, the tool should make you your money back, which is pretty cool. And then compound and get alpha, which is good. So we're going for a very big tent B2C to B approach, so business to consumer to business. So we've typically worked with a lot of large enterprises like Hitachi, Barclays, many big corporates. But what I think the crypto space is very much driven by individuals. So what we're finding is we're getting smart bankers or MBAs or like just general people looking to trade a bit of crypto, and they're going, well, how do I find out more information? And we've been in the space for 4.5, 5 years. We build tools, and we also build a community where it's really safe for people to ask questions. And I think that's quite important, because there's a lot of noise in the crypto group, and like there's all these sort of YouTubers and people like that, and not only are they sort of pretty conflicted, they're also very noisy and just very like off-putting, I'd say, to people who are looking to like make sensible decisions.
So one thing that fascinates me about you, Toby, is that every time anyone asks you a question, you never answer with one word. You answer with like proper, like juicy insights, right? So you running like Novum Insights is just so like appropriate. But so I was thinking, like, I'm not sure what to ask Toby about systems, but now I've got like 7, 8 questions sloshing around my head. So I'm doing some sort of picking in between. But like, tell me, so because one of the things that comes to mind is that the blockchain space, especially cryptocurrencies, one of the biggest aspects of that is that it's limited supply, unlike the fiat that gets printed all the time. And it's like, we never know how much fiat is in circulation and stuff like that. But it's also very much quantifiable in terms of where all that money is, how is it being circulated, et cetera, et cetera. And also certainly in terms of what the prices are and so on. How does the Novum system work if you had to sort of pitch it to a 12-year-old, teenager who's got like kind of a memory and attention span of a kind of senile goldfish, let's say? How would you pitch the Novum system? What do you actually do? And, what's the kind of output of it? Yeah.
So the simplest thing is our momentum pairs allow you to find the fastest growing cryptos out there over the last week. So basically, if you're looking to find like the fastest running things that you can piggyback on, we've built a system that can allow you to identify that. So basically, if you're that low attention span kid, just jump on board, and some of those might be quite a fun ride. You might get smashed up, but often they might be an elevator upwards, and it provides the biggest whiz bang opportunities in the whiz bang space that is crypto.
Right, yeah, I'm sold.
That's good. That's good. Well, we'll welcome you on board soon, Jason.
I mean, on the innovation side, Toby, right? So, I mean, just really like, what would you say is the big innovation here? Because, you know, obviously I can look at the market. There's various analysis indicators. What's kind of the one thing that I'll find on Novum Insights, or maybe multiple things that I won't find elsewhere?
Yeah. Well, we spent a lot of time looking at a niche. I think we understand it better than most people, which is liquidity provisioning, basically. So what's most exciting about the DeFi space from my perspective, which I think has helped all of crypto take off, is that there's this so-called automated market making function, where effectively the crowd is providing the liquidity on the exchange. So what's happening on all these things like Uniswap, Curve, Balancer, whatever, there's this proliferation of crypto decentralized exchanges. And what they really are is like a software platform where enabling a two-sided market, where effectively Jason and Mo could own some tokens, and they decide to put those tokens into a smart contract and just leave them there, providing liquidity. So typically you're providing, say, Ethereum and wrapped Bitcoin, which is quite a good one to provide liquidity on. And you effectively are providing that liquidity so I can come along and buy it. And what's really, really cool about this is that, and so where we've been different is we mapped all of the data, and we can show you how you do for providing liquidity against the trade doing well. And we think that the automated market making function, because is so exciting, and I think a lot of people haven't fully understood how big this thing can be, because what it effectively means is a small project can have a permanent market for its for the things it's trading, be it tokens. Soon, I suspect you'll see it move to shares in the bond market and whatever. But I think what we've done is we provided a really easy way to understand the kind of returns you'd make through that. And then we're drilling down further and looking at intelligent ways to navigate that space.
So this is, I know you guys are working, you are working with some of the smartest people right in UK in terms of from the analytics side, and really, computer scientists that are data informed and analytical and really understand how to drill into these insights. And you guys are literally like living and breathing this stuff. So, but what would you say is the core product from Novum Insights? Is it the pairs, or how are you seeing the proposition? Is it the momentum pairs at the moment as the main product, or how are you seeing it?
The momentum pairs is very much the core product at the moment. So it's designed to be just a really, really simple, easy use case of all the data that we have. And I think it's great because, like, I've actually tapped Jason's advice many times on product design, and we often went out there and built really complicated products that did a lot of things, and they were all whiz bang. But the problem with that, and you guys are deep in the UX product design world, is you end up building something that's massively complicated and doesn't do a few things well. So we focus very much on building the momentum pairs and getting stuff that you can jump into easily, and it's allowing people to build exciting new projects in their portfolio effectively. Then and I think that's, so we very much, that is our core product at the moment. I think we're very focused on reading out other sort of tangential products, or either like widening the main product where it works, or having other subscription offerings that we can sell to people. And a big one, our big dream really is to be building indices, so that like you can effectively get a basket of intelligent trades to work, and we've pre-selected them for you. We've been asked by some people to do robo-advisory as well, where effectively you could port some of your funds into a smart contract and be able to have those trade in the market. We're a bit wary of the robo-advisory stage, but I guess for the moment, momentum pairs is very much the Novum premium product. The DeFi calculator is like the thing that anyone can try out on our website and input how you might have done had you held wrapped BTC and Ethereum in a smart contract providing liquidity versus just holding it, right? So we think it's a pretty powerful tool. It's free out there on the internet, and we get loads of people going, this is really great. And being the crypto world, people also go, can you just open source that code, because it's really cool? But my devs are kind of like, not yet. Who knows? One day when we've got so many products, we will do.
I mean, I want to just echo one thing, Toby, actually, just before we move to the money side. I liked what you said about having all this data, all this infra, all this software, right? And then having the first product that people can actually consume. And I think that boils down to this idea of, something Jason and I have developed, which is this idea of simplexity, right? So having very complex subject matter, materials, areas, which you kind of need to find a way to make consumable in a way that the person, it's not dumbed down, but it's just channeled in an accessible way. And so I think that's really something that you're doing quite well with the team, which is, okay, there's all this noise, all this stuff happening in the crypto space. How do we make that consumable by the end user in a way that delivers value?
100%. I love the idea of simplexity, and it's and I think it is the golden rule for any entrepreneur. Really, it's so tempting to go out there and boil the ocean. And we often talked about like how we were building like the Bloomberg of crypto or the Bloomberg of blockchain. And then we were like, well, it's pretty hard to do Bloomberg. And Bloomberg themselves, I think, just started by like getting cuttings of the bond market kind of thing. So, but we always were dreaming and fighting to build this kind of unified platform that did loads of different things. And now we've opted to, we'll gather all the data and then gradually reel out products on that simplexity framework.
So in terms of money then, Mo, what's your question on money front?
Well, that's an interesting one. So
okay. Let me ask him a question on money.
Go for it.
Right now, Toby, there is a massive, it seems like, fundraising frenzy. Just most recently, a company named Nothing raised literally in a matter of 3 minutes 1.5 million euros on Crowdcube. They had a pre-existing round from Google Ventures and so on, but this was literally, I wanted to pop in like 1,000 just for the laugh of it. but by the time I'd logged in and filled in a couple of form fields, I was already too late for the round. So literally the email came in, I logged in, and I was too late. I was already gone. So how are you doing or how are you seeing the process of fundraising at the moment, and how do you reconcile that with the kind of the end sort of cash flow and output of the company and so on?
Yeah, no, 100%. So I think we've always been relatively lucky on the fundraising front. It's not been an easy ride in terms of like it's been an easy ride in the fact that initially I was one of those lucky entrepreneurs who was able to raise our seed round 5-6 months in on the back of a PowerPoint and some nice handshakes and painting a beautiful vision to people, and then I think the next few years were pretty hard, right? Like the entrepreneurial journey is a tough one, right? And I think it's a like I had the experience of that I don't often like to talk about, but our seed round ran out, right? And we needed to downsize the company from 12 to 6 people. So it feels great when the spigots are coming in, but it is really, you've got to, as a startup and build a real business, and it can sometimes seem like there's endlessly flowing capital, and we're finding it like we're in a hot space, and there's relative interest, but we're still early doors. We're really enjoying selling our SaaS product and like celebrating every customer who comes in the door, because like it's kind of it's a really neat model. Like at the moment, we've been closing 50% of the people who take out the £1 trial to 300. So then it just becomes like a funnel filling exercise. So we think we're doing pretty well that way. And then the investor side, generally, when you get that traction, typically speaks for itself, right? It's a hard journey in the ideation realm, startups. You need to I feel really lucky that of the people who when we had to downsize the company from 12 to 6, every single one of those is still with us today, and we're a really hardcore team. But it's a brutal journey, as they sort of say, it's like your several years of hard work to an overnight success, right? And I think startups are often quite like that, like where and even if you read about like the founders of Airbnb or whatever, I think they joked about how they did their Visa round, which was like basically they're maxing out their credit cards, and then they also like sold cereal packets with Barack Obama on it at South by Southwest.
That was a good story.
There's a lot of ingenuity, and then you can be lucky, and then I've seen so many projects, right? Like I first met Jason around the time of the ICO era, and I know projects that burnt through like insane amounts of money in that period, like 50 million, and they still managed to run out of money. And you're just going, guys, like you shouldn't be able to do this. Like, how do you burn 50 million when you're literally just like having parties every day or something like?
You know, it's funny, just on that note, I've actually given this exercise to a whole bunch of people where I said, you've got 10 million pounds, right? What do you spend it on? And the kind of regular people, right, they struggle to spend 2 million, right? They literally can't think of things to spend 2 million on. But sometimes you find some of these people who are like city dwellers, like inner city dwellers. And I say, how do you spend 50 million, right? And they're like, oh, it's really easy to spend 50 million, right? They know places.
Offices all around the world.
Yeah, it's like, it's not even the kind of big assets. It's just kind of like services, right? There's like, oh, I know a whole bunch of services I can just kind of plow 5-10 million into. It's crazy.
Mohammed,
Crazy.
Sorry about that. We stalled the
It's okay. Yeah. So Mo, it's your question on growth.
Yeah, well, I think actually I've got a good one to kind of bring things to a close. So, I mean, Toby, you mentioned this idea, you started out saying we're going to be the Bloomberg of financials of crypto, right? And obviously then you say, you know what, let's just start with one really good product and then add them in as we go along. So I wanted to ask you kind of a two-pronged question. Where do you see the company going, let's say, in the next year? And then also, where do you see the company maybe more in 5-10 years, based on what you've learned so far? What do both of those time scales look like?
Yeah, and I think we've always stuck to that original vision, right? Of like the Bloomberg of crypto vision has been there from day one, and we would love the tool to be really, really useful for anyone trying to understand the DeFi, crypto, and frontier innovation space, right? Like I'm passionate about all things like frontier tech. I think the blockchain and crypto world is exploding so much that we can probably just stick to that niche, and that's a really nice place to be, right? Because in the 2018, 2019 era, we were pivoting around because by late 2018, like the word crypto was taboo because of how irresponsible some of the ICO behavior had been. But I think that now the DeFi space, I think there's much more seeds of reality in a lot of what is being built, which is great. I think there's still a lot of excess, and we just want to be a positive, neutral, impartial voice that is really helping like everyone understand and get the best out of the blockchain and crypto worlds.
Fantastic. Yeah. Toby, look, I really appreciate you coming on the podcast, and every time I speak to you, I really learn something new and have sort of develop a new perspective on the whole space. And really, it's just like an anecdote. I remember one time I was speaking at a crypto conference at the time when Bitcoin was bubbling up like crazy. And at this conference, there's literally, they like double oversold the tickets, and people were literally climbing over each other, to get in. And not even a year later, but about 7 months later, the Bitcoin had fallen. And literally across the road at a beautiful event in London, they couldn't sell 20% of the tickets. And like people, you rocked up there. There was also like food for 100, but 20 people turned up or whatever, right? And it was like, who's going to eat all this food, right? And it's crazy how the market is just so up and down hype. And this is all happening while I'm literally looking at the trading boards for the market, like regular stock market, and it's literally taken a tumble, massive tumble. And so it's like the money is having to go somewhere, and it seems like nobody really knows where to put their money. It's like any kind of diversification strategy is virtually impossible at the moment. And these kind of tools that you guys are building and evolving and really getting into the real hardcore nuts and bolts of it, I think are like more and more becoming essential. And
100%. And I think that was one of our major problems in the 2017, 2018 era. It really was like a level of irrational that people were like, I can remember people telling me, it's like, why do I need analytics? I just invest in what my mate says I should invest in. And then I was just like, Yeah, let's see how that strategy works out for you over time. And it was, and then by 2019, what was extraordinary was like, I was like, well, hey guys, this is just an early market, bubbles burst, and you just keep on you keep on soldiering through, and like that's when the real stuff occurs. And so actually, like, I'm very fond of everyone I know from the blockchain space. I count you as one of them, Jason. It's great to meet you, Mo. But like the people who kind of stuck with it and kept experimenting are like just the super high quality people in the space. I think like in every, like, I've advised 3 of my really, really good friends who went through crypto winter, and every single one of their projects has been like a smash success, right? Like so it's kind of like and it was part, like, the guy, so I'm advising this project called UNN, and it's done amazingly. I mean, like, it's actually second on our momentum pairs, just on pure, like, it grew 50% in the last week. And he's like, but he and I were consulting on like some weird real estate security token project in 2019, and it was just literally like there was barely any interest in the blockchain crypto market, and we were like going, and we were really like figuring out how to batten down the hatches of our business and keep on going and find out new avenues for growth. And I think that's really cool. And I think the big advice for any area that you're in is like, realize that there's a lot of noise and you just got to shut it out, is what I would say, and just focus on what you want to be doing and on a cool space, stick with it, because it will come good, I think, but if you're persistent.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Toby. I really appreciate you. And for everyone who's listening to this, please subscribe to the channel on YouTube to get more insights like this. And of course, if you're looking to optimize your company through the designed company model, our Anya tool is up and running and ready to take on new companies that are looking to get their performance up all round. So thank you very much, guys. Peace and enjoy the rest of your day.
Take care.
Cheers.